the year 3 for you. We talked about just the phases and building something here at ULM, but just day one, get back out with the guys, the excitement, the work we put in the summer. How excited are you guys to get working on the field, preparing for that week 1 matchup?
Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of excitement. Our guys, it's day one. Everybody's excited. Everybody's ready. This team has really grown, throughout phase 1 to phase 2, now into phase 4. Into year 3, we've got a lot of experience back. We've got a lot of leadership, a lot of player-driven leadership. I think this is the furthest ahead, without a doubt, where we're at. But we just want to continue to grow and grind it one day at a time, and that's this team's mentality. They embrace the day. We're going to maximize the day, and just get ready to go one day at a time and just sharpen each other.
I think we talked about just the phase. One thing's happened overnight. I know sometimes it's a struggle, sometimes things don't go our way, but you got guys who bought into and understand what's being built here. Just having guys like that and take this thing where you're trying to take it, how important is that?
I think it's critical. I think that is a big part of really where this team is at and this program's at right now. You got to be willing to go through tough times. Nobody said this was going to be easy, but we've put our head down. This community's put its head down. One day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. And I'm really excited and really like where we're at going into year 3 with the experience and the buy-in and the leadership of this team. Getting a guy like, Noah Fleming and Marcus Ross and A.J. Vincent and Jay Cal and Aiden Armenta and Kaleem Croswell, you can go on and on, Nick Trujillo, all the buy-in and the guys, the experience back. Now, there's not a whole lot to say. There's just a lot. It's time to prove it. And that's what it's about. It's time we got to go show it.
Big difference this year. You didn't have the transfer portal in the spring and some track guys necessarily after spring ball. How big of a difference is that coming in?
I think it's a huge difference because you have your team in January, February, March, April. You don't have the disruption and the chaos of possibly losing guys that you're building, growing, and developing throughout that team and the chemistry. So I think this is the closest team. This team is well connected. They care about each other. They hang out. I can see a true brotherhood, molding. We're not there yet, and we've still got a long way to go. And we understand that, and we kind of embrace that. But where we're at this point, day 1 going into fall camp, I like it.
You mentioned Aiden Armenta, another year in this offense. Y'all been together at New Mexico. How have you seen him develop over time?
I thought he started to really take off the last 2 weeks in this offense of the spring. I think he's had a great summer. He's got a great grasp. And I think right now you're seeing the best Aiden Armenta that we've seen, and that's what it should be. With that experience and where you're at, that's where you should be. That's what you want to be in that situation. But, Landon Graves looks the best he's ever looked. Austin Carlisle is playing really good. You sit here and you've got Ty Purdy and you've got, Bryson Kimbrough, who's, still a freshman, is coming on. This is the deepest our quarterback room, most competitive, but also just really high character.
Coach, I want to piggyback off of Mike a little bit. You talked about no transfer portal this spring, continuity, being in a system, knowing the standards and the change of culture. That's huge for these guys to have a 3rd year of understanding what's going on. Just talk about that continuity with these guys.
I think the continuity is a big key to success. When you have guys that have been in those wars and carry those scars from those tough times with them, it's the tough times that really mold you to who you are, and they mold you into that hardness it's going to take for us to get that program where it needs to be. So having a lot of guys, especially a lot of your key guys that are carrying those scars and really know what we've been through is key, in my opinion, in success, because that's where your player-driven leadership comes from, because they know, because until you've been through it, you really don't know.
2 new coordinators, what do you need to see the first couple of weeks of camp to feel good going into game prep?
I think it's day by day. And to right now, we hadn't been on the field. We hadn't had any workouts in 5 days. It's day 1. Let's get the rust off. Let's get details and fundamentals. It's just details and fundamentals, and then bringing it to group and bringing it to team and really doing it as a unit, doing it as one. And that's a big thing. And from the very start to the very end, never changing and just continuing to elevate what we're doing.
Coach, you talk about that quarterback room being deep, but just the entire roster. Talk about keeping things competitive. That I think every coach loves competition outside of games, especially in practice, but just to keep it competitive throughout camp, to keep these guys' energy up, to keep them in that mindset. How important is that?
I think it's huge, but I think if you sit there and look at our roster, this is our best roster, and it should be. This is our deepest roster, and it should be. This is our most experienced roster. So whether it's O-line, we've got great competition, at the offensive line. Our tight ends, we've got great competition. Really, our running back room, I'm excited to see who's going to show themselves and really earn those roles from the quarterbacks, receivers. We've got multiple guys that can do multiple things. Then defensively, we've got a lot of competition at safety. We feel like a lot of competition at corner. We're 3 deep on the D line, but we don't necessarily know the rotation yet, and it's going to be earned, never given. And that's how we should want it, and that's how this team wants it. We've got to go earn it.
How excited are the guys for this schedule? I mean, you mentioned before, what a heck of an opportunity. We're going to play Tech, playing another SEC team.
Well, we're very excited about our schedule. I think we've got a great schedule. Opened up at Mississippi State, then we go to UAB and Birmingham. Then we've got 2 home games in Southeast Louisiana and FAU homecoming. And then, we've got to open up conference play with South Alabama. Then we'll have an open week, La Tech, a game that everybody in this area has been excited about. It's going to be a big moment for both universities and really this region to bring that back, and it's going to be great, for Monroe and for Ruston. It's going to be a big deal, I think, for this area. And then you got Southern Miss, at home on Halloween, and you're going to have ULL at home on ESPN on a Thursday night, and in the season, Thanksgiving with Marshall. If you're not buying tickets and you're not getting your passes and everything set up right now, you might be behind real quick.
Coach, I know we talked about it multiple times, but just obviously the guys buying in, but you've got Dr. Castile, you've got SJ2, you got everybody buying into what's being built. I saw the new setup for fans just to make this atmosphere, continue to make this atmosphere fun for the community. It's pretty neat to see everyone really diving into this.
And that's when it happens. It really happens when you have a leader like President Castile, who has an unbelievable passion and work ethic and determination to make, this university the best it can be all over. And then you've got SJ, we've got Bill Gray, we've got so many people in line with Cindy Fowl. Just everything from her top down is what creates real change. And then you can feel it, on campus. You can feel it amongst all the teams, and you can feel it in town. And that's, you got to be willing to go through those stages, and that's what we're doing right now, and we're in the midst of it. So this is the time for us to all unite and really come together. We're on the same mission, and that's what happens when it starts up top and works down.